Right, with Liberty.me, I'm Kyle Platt, here with Michael Steele. Michael, it's a pleasure to speak with you.
Good to see you, buddy.
Of course, former chairman of the RNC and a contributor to the Fox News channel. My question to you is that at every FreedomFest conference I've attended, which isn't many, but it seems like all of them, one of the big questions is, does the Republican Party, is freedom in their best interest? Are they actually pushing for more freedom for human beings? And I'm kind of a skeptic, I'll be honest with you, because I'm a staunch libertarian. Will you convince me, really? Okay. Will you convince me that the Republican Party...
Are you serving drinks?
Then, I don't know.
Then I can convince you.
That the Republican Party is interested in increasing human freedom.
I think that the rank and file Republican that you see, whether it's here in Nevada or in my home state of Maryland, which has a very strong liberty presence, if you will. For them, I think that is part and parcel of the package for them. I think for a lot of folks who've, sort of taken a jaundiced view of politics, the establishment types, I had to deal with a lot of them as national chairman, and that didn't go well necessarily from day to day. Because it really is about crafting a message in this modern era that ties back to something. And for me, it ties back to the, sort of the Lincoln-esque principles of freedom. Certainly what someone like a Goldwater and a Ronald Reagan talked about in the modern era, in the 20th century. So the question becomes, I think, for today's Republican Party, how do we not redefine freedom, but how do we reestablish it? As a core principle behind everything else we do, everything else we talk about. When you talk about creating jobs, you have to understand that right beneath the surface of that idea of job creation is the sense that the employee, the employer, will be free to do so. Will be free to work where they want to work, free to produce and create the kind of jobs they want to create. And so that, for me, is something that's going to be a very unique and important challenge for Republicans. Okay, Republicans, not necessarily conservatives, not necessarily libertarians, but Republicans, as part of the party brand, as part of the banner of the political system to deal with. And we'll see if they do.
Do you think, I've noticed this, do you think that when Democrats are in power that the Republicans switch on the freedom a lot more, they become more interested in it, whereas anytime the Democrats are the same, anytime the party is in power, they seem much less interested in human freedom?
No, they switch it on when they get in trouble. Okay. So they switch it on when, for example, a Ron Paul begins to get the kind of traction that he got in 2004, 2008. When Rand Paul gets the kind of traction that he's gotten right now, the fact that he's established a network around all 50 states in the union and is making himself known and is elevating the discourse, number one, pushing back on the traditional perception of problems, how we deal with them. And more importantly, from my perspective, reaching into a new generation of voters. Going to Howard University. I mean, really, in 2014, you're going to go to Howard University and you want to run for president? Smart thinking, forward thinking, which really, I think, challenges the established view of how we do these things. So when that begins to happen, that's when you all of a sudden start hearing people start talking about freedom, or you get a picture of Mitch McConnell walking out on the stage at CPAC with a rifle over his head and all that crazy stuff. But people aren't fooled by that any longer, and I think that is going to be something that we saw play out in the Virginia race with Eric Cantor. Will repeat itself, I suspect, this November. I think that there may be a few incumbents who, may see something a little bit different as this thing unfolds. So we'll see how voters ultimately react to it. But the establishment types and those who kind of promote that really kind of wrap themselves in the freedom banner because when they feel the heat, that gives them sort of the protection they think they need. But I think a lot of voters have gone beyond that now and really have the expectation that you back it up with action, you back it up with policy, and make it believable.
Sure. Well, as I said, libertarians generally are very skeptical of Republicans' dedication to the ideas of freedom. But I have to say, it's very encouraging to see a prominent Republican such as yourself here. And I'm wondering, why did you feel like it was important to be here? And what do you plan to accomplish at a libertarian-themed conference such as this?
Because I recognize in the first instance, this is all part of the family, number one. Number two, it's part of our history. the very strong and I think important libertarian strain has defined what the Republican Party has been and what it will be, because at the core of it all is this concept for this great experiment we call America, freedom. That's at the base of it. The Constitution underscores that and girds it and is the foundation on which all of that is subsequently based. And I have always firmly identified with that and related to it and tried as best I could as national chairman to make that a part of what we did. Not alienating, not co-opting, but creating avenues and opportunities for the party to really grow and expand itself, embracing its history, embracing those who have been a part of creating that history, but more importantly, those who are going to be a part of making the future of the Republican Party strong and important as a governing party down the road. So my hope is, by being here at Freedom First, and this is my first where I've actually had a chance to be here and to share in the conversation and to participate. I've learned a lot, am learning a lot still, hopefully imparted some thoughts along the way. And we'll see. I think more opportunities for people to really explore who we are as Republicans and what makes that up, to me is important. Republican is conservative, libertarian. It's a combination of so many things that talk about and underscores this idea of freedom.
Well, I have to say that the Republican Party would improve markedly if people like you attended this event more often, and I think it's very exciting.
I would encourage folks to do that. Republicans who are just sitting on your couch with nothing to do, next time Freedom Fest rolls around, get off the couch, get your butt on a plane, come here, come to wherever Freedom Fest is, and participate and really understand exactly how much a part of the family this is.
That's perfect. Thank you so much, Michael Steele. It's such a pleasure to talk to you. All right, thank you so much.